Today on the TMZ Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the TMZ Podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton and today I'm joined by Dennis Broad.
Desk mates.
We're desk mates, we're best mates.
We are.
So you're our resident cop guy, resident police expert. So we got you in to talk about primarily Tupac.
A guy who said he was in the car when it happened, and I know this is like 20 years later. It's so fascinating. I mean, they're wondering, number one, why did they wait so long? But the guy that was arrested, Keefe Davis, he has just been talking and talking, wrote a book, talks about documentaries.
Yeah.
I mean, he sort of incriminated himself. How can he not get arrested?
Right. So we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger. He kind of trolled Donald Trump about his weight.
It's a fair troll. As not a small man, it's a fair troll.
You can say that, right?
I can say it.
But to begin with, the true crime story that's gripping the nation right now is of this 9-year-old girl. Her name is Charlotte Sena. She was abducted while on a camping trip with her family in upstate New York.
Yeah, I mean, she was just riding her bike. Parents left, mom and dad said, hey, go ride your bike. And all of a sudden, some guy came up and took her.
Yeah.
And terrifying. I mean, as a parent, you know how terrifying this can be.
The most terrifying thing.
I mean, amazing. And then they got the guy. I mean, this guy's not a rocket science, thank God.
Yeah.
But I mean, he put a ransom note in the mailbox with his fingerprints.
Right. So they were, at this national park. And Charlotte went for a little bike ride around a lake or something.
Right.
And the round trip of that bike ride is only a number of minutes. Like, it's not a very long bike ride.
No.
It was a 6 p.m. at night, went for a little bike ride. This guy, who we now know is Craig Nelson Ross Jr., snatched her right up. Her bike was left. He took her to wherever, and there was the mad hunt began.
Yeah, I took her. I believe he was found at his mom's property in a camper, and the little girl was underneath the kitchen sink where they found her.
Right. So yeah, when she went missing, the police staked out the girl's house in case the killer came over to. Oh, not the killer. The abductor.
Yeah, the
abductor. The kidnapper.
And he did. I mean, he left a note. He left a ransom note in there. Mm-hmm. Cops got a fingerprint off of it. He had, I think, a 1999 DUI arrest.
Right.
And they put it together, and they went and they raided the house and recovered Charlotte, which is great.
I mean, he didn't even have his own property. He was staying out the back of his mum's place in a trailer, and poor Charlotte was found in a cabinet in the kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, and they're looking, they don't know. I mean, one of the things this investigation is ongoing. Was he stalking her? Was this a crime of the moment?
Right.
Or, did he have an idea? Or was it just totally random? Like, hey, there's a little girl. I think I'm going to take her and try to get some money.
Right. It's really crazy story because it's kind of relatable to all parents, like being worried about that.
Terrifying.
And this, I mean, if you haven't seen this guy, like, he looks like the type.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, exactly. He just kind of looks like, I'm walking on the other side of the street.
Oh yeah, he looks like he got a few screws loose. And clearly he does.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what could possess you to commit that kind of a crime, to take a child. That's just, wow.
It's crazy. Yeah, and I mean, I'm surprised that sort of like he was so brash in this whole ransom note thing, and he left fingerprints and
again, I'm glad this was not a rocket science, because this case was solved in 2 days.
And I'm glad he had that, drink driving charge decades ago, so you could match the fingerprints, because if not for that, maybe she's still missing.
No, I mean, and who knows how this could have ended up, And they said she's okay. She's at a hospital getting checked out, but, it appears she's okay. But
I mean, physically.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that happening to you no matter how old you are?
No.
This girl's like a 9-year-old sweet little girl, and oh God, just
parents. I mean, I cannot imagine. I would never.
The girl too, the trauma she must have experienced.
I would never let her out of my sight again, and I'm not sure that little girl ever wants to be out of her parents' sight.
Right.
I mean, it's just that's some serious damage done to her.
It really is. Okay. TMZ True Crime continues now. A man has been arrested in connection with the murder of Tupac Shakur.
Well, he's not alleged as the shooter. I think he's alleged of giving the gun to the shooter, the alleged shooter, and he was in the car. Out of, I think, the 6 people that were involved, Tupac and Suge, and the 4 that were in the car, it's only Keefe D who was arrested and Suge that are still alive.
Yeah, a lot of them have passed away.
Yeah, Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's really weird.
It's weird that this is like kind of like maybe wrapping up, or they're finally catching someone, because this has been such a great mystery for so long and so many conspiracy theories.
I mean, although it really hasn't been a mystery because I believe they said Orlando Anderson is the one on the street who's everyone says is the one that did it, and he was killed in another shootout, years ago, not long after this one. So it's very interesting. And then we talked to Suge Knight, right, who was there, and Suge says, "I'm not testifying, and you got the wrong guy." And now you wonder, are prosecutors going to, want Suge, who's a convicted felon, who's in the middle of this? Who knows? I mean, if you're a prosecutor, do you want Suge in there?
No, he's not trying to work with you to help you solve the case, and that's kind of why the case remained open for so long. Is that sort of street politics of don't talk to the cops, like that really held firm no matter what side you were on, and only now we're finally getting some results.
Although here's the thing with Keefe, he talked himself into jail. Literally, I've never seen anyone talk themselves into jail more than this guy.
Because he was on podcasts.
Wrote a book, in a documentary. Oh, I was in the car. I was this. I supplied him with the gun. How do you think you're not going to go to jail for that?
Right. Well, I guess so much time had passed that, he assumed that nothing's ever going to happen. Because that night, Suge Knight and Tupac went to the Mike Tyson fight.
I believe it's the MGM.
And then in the lobby of the MGM, Orlando Anderson and Suge had like a confrontation.
Right, there was a fight, yeah.
And Tupac sort of beat up Orlando Anderson. And so then later that night, driving along the strip, get to a red light, a car pulls up beside him and fires shots into the car.
It's amazing. I mean, again, this story has got so much lore. There's been documentaries.
Yes.
It's just, I mean, this will be a case that everyone's going to pay attention to.
Are we ever going to get to the bottom of Biggie's case?
I don't know. I've read a couple books on this, and that's another one that they think is solved that'll never get solved.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I don't know. Maybe that's the next one that they're going to just go, okay, here's what's going on.
You've read books about this case?
I have read multiple books about these cases.
You don't strike me as a rap guy.
I like the crime. I like if it's interesting, it's interesting.
Oh, you like the crime.
I like that. I mean, and listen, it's pop culture.
Yes.
I think Biggie and Tupac are bigger than just the rap.
Oh, for sure.
They're worldwide, and they're just they transcend it. They really do. And the crime is like anything unsolved like this is kind of amazing.
So who do you think shot Biggie?
I can't say. I think it's one of the people who already died, if I remember correctly, in some of the books I've read.
So it's not like as juicy or conspiratorial as...
No, but I mean, I've heard things that they're all connected, and Suge had them both done, and Suge had nothing to do with them. I mean, you've heard so many things.
Because there was that conspiracy that these two deaths were related for
forever.
For years now. We've thought that it was East Coast, West Coast sort of beef.
Yeah. Again, though, I mean, these true crime things go on. We're still talking about the Black Dahlia, right? And how long ago was that? In the 30s?
What's a Black Dahlia again?
The Black Dahlia case where the girl was found in pieces.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's a total famous case. And again, we're still talking about it. And there was a book a couple years released on it. I mean, true crime is just, it always has a... We still talk about Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, true.
I mean, so I can't imagine us not talking about Biggie and everyone and Tupac for years to come.
It's one of the biggest sort of open cases in the history of the country, I guess.
It is. I mean, music giants,
So it looks like, I'm surely this guy's going to go to trial, and it's going to be interesting what happens. But
I wonder if he's going to just take a deal or what. Because again, I can't wait to see all this evidence brought back up, and we're all going to watch it.
Oh, absolutely! It'll be the new Johnny Depp Amber Heard.
I think this one will have a broader appeal, to tell you the truth.
Even bigger.
I do.
Wow. All right, there's a good prediction.
Thanks.
All right, on to our final story. Arnold Schwarzenegger trolled Donald Trump last night on Jimmy Kimmel. So, I mean, it's interesting to begin with because this is Jimmy Kimmel's first show back.
Right.
From the writer's strike. And he has his all-star guest, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he asks him about the, most famous guy in the country, Donald Trump, and about when Trump was arrested.
He took when he turned himself into Fulton County, they took a booking photo, height, weight, color of hair, and all that, the normal stuff.
And Trump said he was 215. You get to say yourself what you are. Like, they don't weigh you there.
No, they don't usually, same with your driver's license. You just say, hey, I'm this, I'm this.
And so Kimmel asked Schwarzenegger about the claim that he's 215 pounds, and this is what he had to say.
I don't really know how much he weighs. I can tell you one thing, that if you would ask me what should you do for fitness, I would just say run around yourself 3 times. And you're going to be in great shape.
So do you think it is possible that he weighs 215 pounds?
Yeah, as much as it is possible, that there is no climate change.
Nice.
I love that you got two Hollywood actors who became, political leaders. Schwarzenegger, governor of LA.
They were also both hosts of Celebrity
Yeah,
or
yeah.
The Apprentice.
And then you got this. I mean, it's a fair slam. I'm not saying 215. I'm sorry. No, Trump. No, not going to happen.
What would you say? It's about 315, like Arnold said.
I would say it's hovering around the 3. I mean, he's a big dude. He's big boned.
I mean, he just ordered McDonald's to his court
Oh,
case.
dude, amazing. It was either him or his legal team, and it wasn't just McDonald's. It was bags upon bags upon bags.
For who? Like his whole team?
I guess. I mean, amazing though. Can you imagine that order?
Yeah. Go on. Give us Trump ordering
What do you think,
McDonald's.
Trump? 15 Big Macs, take 3 large fries, 2 filet of fish. Ooh, and a Diet Coke.
He does seem like the Diet Coke guy, doesn't he?
Don't forget the Diet Coke.
I like that.
These McDonald's people are very, very good. We really like them. Hardworking people.
Yeah,
you can just go to a whole Trump racket.
Oh my God.
New spokesman.
It's funny because also yesterday was Arnold's son, Joseph Baena's birthday. Yeah. And if you haven't seen this guy with his shirt off, my God.
I mean, listen. I've seen his other kids, right?
Yeah.
They all got the Kennedy genes.
Yes.
Joseph.
He was with Maria Shriver of the Kennedys.
I mean, they all got the Kennedy. Joseph got the Schwarzenegger DNA. I mean, full.
Right, and obviously Joseph was a product of like that illegitimate. He was an illegitimate child that Arnold had with like the maid.
It makes you wonder about the other kids. I'm just saying, what was Maria doing?
Because Joseph is just like
a carbon copy of a young Schwarzenegger.
He looks so big in these recent photos. He went for a swim or in a race or something like that for his birthday, and he is massive. It looks exactly like Arnie.
It's scary. I mean, I hope he does Conan. I hope he does like all these old Arnie movies.
If anyone is going to revive any of those, it's not going to be Patrick Schwarzenegger or the rest of whoever they are.
No,
it's going to be Joseph.
I like that. The rest of whoever they are.
I don't know their names. I know Joseph Baena. I'm rooting for Joseph Baena.
Yeah. How can you not? He's a good kid. I mean, he doesn't take. He's not ego. He's not.
Doesn't seem it.
No, he's just a nice kid. He really is. I want to root for him too.
Is he embraced by the Schwarzeneggers in general, Joseph Baena?
I don't know. I don't think they do a lot of things together. I don't think they hate him, but I don't know that they're super close either.
Right.
But Schwarzenegger makes sure that he loves all his kids. I give him a lot of credit for that.
I think he's a good dad. We see them actually at the gym together, training the boys and him.
I mean, can you imagine? Listen, as a trainer, this is the one where this is the advice you want to listen to your dad.
Yeah, true.
100%. My dad's right on this. 100%.
Usually you don't think your dad's right about much.
No, you argue. No, Dad, that's not. I mean, you can't argue with Dad.
No, you can't. All right, Dennis. Well, thank you very much for joining me today, mate.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
I'm going to go sit right next to you when we're done.
All right. See you in a second, mate.
Thanks.
We'll see you guys here tomorrow. Bye.